Think Realty Nation, it's your host, Abhi Golhar. Welcome to the Think Realty podcast. I have a really awesome conversation in line for you today. It's going to be awesome. And he's also going to be a speaker at the Baltimore conference, at the Think Realty Conference and Expo in Baltimore. So you cannot miss what Andre Johnson has to say about investing in his company and what's happening in his world. So I'm excited to connect with him for a little bit. And then after that conversation, which, by the way, if you haven't been taking notes yet, you need to get out your crayon, colored pencil, something to write with, because the information that we're going to be talking about is super important. After that, then we're going to talk a little bit about JVs. You know, in 2020, we want to see what types of availability of deals that are out there. And sometimes you might not have the cash, but you might have somebody that does. And you might be looking at partnering with a mentor, and maybe that conversation rolls into, well, geez, how do I structure this deal? And the idea of a joint venture, a JV, comes up, and you just don't know what to do next. So we'll talk about that in the second segment. Think Realty Nation, this podcast episode is brought to you by Residential Capital Partners, a leading hard money lender with a national scope and a local presence in each market they serve. Their partners and loan affiliates have flipped well over 1,000 properties nationwide themselves, and they know your business, and it's rare that lenders do. Visit them today at residentialcapitalpartners.com. Again, residentialcapitalpartners.com. All right, let's talk to Andre. Andre, welcome to the show.
Hey, Abhi, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. How are things in your world?
Things are great. Looking forward to the Expo, Think Realty Expo, coming here to Baltimore.
That's going to be a lot of fun. So give me an intro on who you are and what you do, and let's talk about the Expo and maybe drop a couple gold nuggets and spill the beans on what you'll be sharing with us there.
Okay, Andre Johnson, been investing for 20 years, company Deal Mastery. We host a monthly Deals Meetup where investors can come to find deals, pitch deals, network partner, and invest. And we've helped investors, thousands of investors over the years, to automate their marketing, to find motivated seller opportunities, and to take their business to another level, creating cash flow and wealth for countless number of entrepreneurs.
That's awesome. I mean, and the information in your meetup on a regular basis, that's like really valuable for whether you're a new investor or even a seasoned investor, or if you're out of state. I mean, there's so many folks that are out of state that are interested in investing in a different area, and they want to know what's going on. And the best way to do that is to attend the Deal Meetup, and I think that's fantastic. So if I wanted to learn more about Deal Mastery and Deal Meetup and where to go and how to get in touch, what's the best way to do that?
All right, so Deals Meetup is one-of-a-kind meetup in the DMV. That's the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And you can go to dealsmeetup.com. And so what makes Deals Meetup so unique, and we're coming on our 10-year anniversary here this year, started in 2010. What makes it unique is most RIAs, real estate investors associations, or traditional real estate clubs, they have a speaker come in, typically out-of-town speaker, train on a topic, wholesaling, short sales, etc. Deals Meetup is a unique platform in which investors come to find deals. All investors want to find deals. Some investors come to pitch their off-market wholesale deals, and investors also come there to network, partner, and invest. So Deals Meetup is a great community where new and experienced investors can come find opportunities. They can network and meet money partners, private lenders, and contractors, and all the resources, the players you need to get started or to take your business to the next level.
Absolutely love it. So let's talk about the Think Realty Conference and Expo in Baltimore. That's really important because that's coming up here in the next couple of months. And I mean, I'll tell you something. Every time that I go to a Think Realty conference, it's so much fun. I get to meet amazing people like you, Andre, and just reconnect and say hi and hello and kind of see what's going on in the world. You know, this year we're going to have a lot of changes. There are a lot of things that are happening. We have an election that's coming up. That's going to be a really big election. And everybody wants to know, if Trump is reelected, what happens? If Trump is not reelected, what happens? And I think the conversation, especially in the DC area, that's kind of important, right? We want to know what's going on. And then, of course, how property and how the market shifts. So real quick, I know you're speaking. You're going to be a speaker at the Think Realty Conference and Expo in Baltimore. So if you want to get tickets for that, you want to go to thinkrealty.com and make sure you get them for the early bird pricing. So that's super important. That's thinkrealty.com/Baltimore, okay? But Andre, tell me a little bit about what you'll be speaking about specifically.
So we're going to be talking about how to find hot off-market deals. Okay, so everyone knows that there are retail marketplaces like the MLS, like auctions, and like from wholesalers. I mean, wholesalers, get those properties under contract and they lock in the discounts, they lock in the profit that you watching this podcast want to lock in for yourself. So why go to wholesalers? Why go to the MLS? Why go to auctions when you can actually contact the seller directly yourself? You make money when you buy, lock in all the equity, lock in all the profits, and then you will be the one that makes the cash flow, that makes the profits, that gets that first deal done or gets that next deal done with the profits that you want for your real estate business.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because, I mean, we take a look at where opportunities are right now, right? We take a look at where opportunities are right now. And I mean, I have trouble sometimes finding them on the MLS, or I'm going to get in touch with a whole lot of wholesalers. I have to find some type of strategy that's going to put me in front of the conversation of a deal instead of like all the way to the back and number 25 bidding on some property on the steps, right? Like, I don't want to go that road. So I love what you're doing there because you're talking about off-market deals. You're talking about how I can get in first. And who doesn't like, you're at the airport. Who doesn't like jumping in the clear line? You're cutting off the TSA pre-check people. Quite frankly, I'm a pretty bougie traveler, and it feels amazing when there's a line of people, and I'm like, hey, thank you very much, and I don't even have to give you my ID. And so I'm going to be sitting in on your session for sure because I just want to know how to cut the line. Like I'm just that kind of guy. Like I just want to know. So if you want to hear more about Andre and you want to hear him speak, and if you want to take some notes, you want to get to the Think Realty conference in Baltimore. To register for that conference, you want to go to thinkrealty.com/Baltimore, and that conference is from March 21st to March 22nd. Again, March 21st to the 22nd. Get your tickets, thinkrealty.com/Baltimore. So, Andre, let's keep the conversation going. What is your gut feel of the market in your community, in your area? What are you hearing both locally from investors and from investors nationwide that are investing in your area?
Okay, Abhi. So what investors are doing right now are they're focusing in on cash flow. Cash flow is king right now. So where some of the projects in our area may have been more speculative, like condo conversions, okay, or ground up new construction, projects that typically have a 12 to 24 life cycle, investors right now are focusing in on cash flow. So that cash flow could be your fix and hold, coined as the BRRRR strategy, your buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. Or it could be the project where you have cash flow already existing there, and then you just renovate a portion of a multi-unit or mixed-use building, and you lower your risk by having cash flow already coming in on that project. So that's what investors are focused on right now, Abhi, are cash flowing opportunities. But importantly, you have to be in front of the seller, having that quote-unquote kitchen table conversation so you can lock in your profits by dealing directly with the seller. So that's what we're going to be talking about at the Think Realty Expo. We're going to be talking about the marketing strategies that you need to find hot off-market opportunities, and then market to that particular seller in a way that builds a relationship and where you can get that property under contract and turn it into either that wholesale deal, that flip, that purchase, that lease option, whatever your exit strategy of choice is.
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, the exit strategy that I'm finding right now that buyers are having and investors are having is exactly what you're saying, right? It is the buy and hold. And from the buy and hold, are you looking at like long-term buy and holds, or are we talking like short-term Airbnb and I'm going to have that for cash flow too? Because that's another really good vehicle.
Right. So you have alternatives, DC, Baltimore, Virginia, Airbnb, short-term rentals, are alternative strategies that people are using and they are working. But ultimately, you have to make sure that you have a project that can have multiple exit strategies, short-term rentals being one, considering and not being against going housing authority with Section 8 being another, going a direction where you look at, let's say, even room rentals in some areas of DC, for example, you might rent out rooms and make out better than Section 8. You might rent out rooms and make better than short-term rental like Airbnb. So you really have to be open to different cash flowing tenant models to make sure you maximize your investment. But again, Abhi, I just will stress it that none of this is possible if you don't get in front of the seller and you don't negotiate your own deals yourself. If you rely on the retail markets, the MLS, the auctions, and receiving deals from wholesalers, You'll continue to feel like properties are overpriced. You'll continue to feel like there are no good deals, but that is a misnomer. The deals are there to be had. You just have to have the right strategies, right technical platforms to find these deals. And that's what we put together with our Deal Finders funnel, Abhi. It's a technology platform to help investors to find hot off market opportunities and to have the done for you service on the back end to qualify the leads and then put those leads right in front of you.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in getting in front of that. I recently had a property for sale, and one of my investment properties, and I sent it off to a list, and I got the exact same property that I was selling marked up an extra $75,000, and I'm like, really? That's still happening? But I guess it is. It's like, gee whiz. I mean, you don't want to be part of that daisy chain, and then you're losing $75,000 in equity on a property that you're not buying right. And you know what? I also feel bad for the people that are boasting on Facebook about how they beat out 20, 30, 40 other bidders for an investment property. But you know what? Like, I feel bad for you because you overpaid and you're going to be stuck with that property. It's probably a terrible deal. You didn't do your homework and you just bought because you got so in the spirit of buying. Isn't that like super dangerous?
It is. And so what we see anecdotally, you asked about, what we're reading in terms of the tea leaves. And so we see a lot of wholesalers that are sending out their broadcast emails for their deals. And you know what? We're seeing emails come out a week later, reduce. A week later, reduce. So when you see wholesale prices be reduced and you see property staying on the MLS longer than the 30 or 60 days that you're used to, the market is softening a bit. So in order for you to take advantage and lock in profits that are going to help you to cash flow, help you to lock in those profits on flips, if you're still doing flips, you have to get directly in front of the seller. And that's what we're going to talk about at the Expo, how to find hot off-market opportunities directly with the seller. And Abhi, we're going to be going out in the field for, I believe, the 4th year. We're going to be doing a bus tour.
That's awesome. I love that.
We're going to take investors out into DC and into Baltimore. It's the first time we're going to do a 2 area bus tour. So you guys are in BWI. We're going to have a bus go up to Baltimore and go down to DC, and people can pick whatever the bus they want to be on. And we're going to get people out in the field looking at opportunities. And that's how you, as a new or experienced investor, are going to take your business to the next level. And we're going to show you how to do that at the Realty Expo in Baltimore.
I absolutely love that idea. I mean, and what better way than I remember with some of my best moments in grade school and middle school was like going out to the farm and like actually petting animals. Like, hey, this is what a right? Like this is what a baby goat looks like, right? Like but it solidifies in your brain what a good deal is. You can interact with others. You actually get to see the property, so you don't end up like that bonehead that purchases a deal because 35 other people bid on it. Anyway, you can see how like my frustration with this entire thing.
I get it. You're like many others. I mean, unfortunately, for the most part, I would say 9 out of 10 investors feel as though they can't, feel as though they won't because they haven't. And so what people really need is to have the resources put in front of them. They need to have the support around them so they can be successful, like many of the people in your circle and many people in my circle. And the only difference between those folks and yourself, Abhi, and myself is that they aren't using the technology platforms. They don't have the resources around them. If you come to the Think Realty Expo, we're going to put those resources in front of you. We're going to give you access to those systems, and you'll leave the expo with the tools you need to start finding hot off-market opportunities. And we'll get you out in the field on the bus tour so that you can see them, you can walk through them, you can almost taste the success that you're going to have after the expo.
Awesome. I love it. So if you want to register for the expo, make sure that you do that. Go to thinkrealty.com/Baltimore. And make sure that you're there. I'm going to be there. Andre is going to be there. And it's really important that you at least meet him. Like, he's the guy that's boots on ground and knows his stuff. Andre, real quick, what's the website that I can go to if I want to engage you a little more? If I want to sign up for the meetup or the Deal Mastery, how do I get in touch?
Go to dealsmeetup.com. Again, that's dealsmeetup.com. You'll be able to register for our next free Deals Meetup, where you can find deals, pitch deals, network partner, and invest, and find more information about Deal Mastery and Deals Meetup.
Awesome. Andre, thanks so much for the time today, man. I appreciate it. I'll see you in Baltimore. Think Realty Nation, this next segment is brought to you by Real Property Management, which is the largest residential property management franchise in North America, managing tens of thousands of properties for individuals, investors, and institutions throughout the country. Learn more at realpropertymgt.com or call 888-806-7088. Let's talk about partnering in joint ventures for a second. My good friend Nancy Wallace wrote an article for Think Realty just the other day, and we talk about the best way to JV and the best way to make a deal happen where maybe somebody's bringing experience and the other person's bringing cash. Maybe you're bringing cash and I'm bringing experience, or I'm bringing cash and you're bringing experience. One of the two, and maybe there are multiple partners involved. I love this article so much because, quite frankly, even if you're a passive investor, JVing with somebody is also another great way to get experience in a specific market that you want to expand to, while also not being hands-on every day. But there's certain things that you need to know about a JV agreement that Nancy covers that I'd like to go over just for another 30 seconds to about a minute. There are a couple steps. Number one, a JV agreement should include the following elements. Number one, a purpose of agreement and all the parties involved. Number two, a term of agreement, start date, end date. Seems kind of self-explanatory. Number three, roles of the members of the JV agreement. Number four, how profit and losses will be shared. Number five, worst case scenarios and best case scenarios covered. And then number six, signatures of all parties. It's funny, I saw a JV agreement the other day and there was like only one signature for three parties. I'm like, what the heck is going on? You have to redo this entire agreement. So that being said, please make sure that you do your due diligence on all the parties involved before entering into a JV. Got questions for me? You know how to get in touch. Go to thinkrealty.com. If you want to go to Baltimore, I'm going to be there. So it would be awesome to meet you there. Go to thinkrealty.com/Baltimore. Sign up. That's March 21st to March 22nd. This entire podcast episode is brought to you by Residential Capital Partners, a leading hard money lender with a national scope and a local presence in each market they serve. Their partners and loan affiliates have flipped well over 1,000 properties themselves. They know your business. Visit them today at residentialcapitalpartners.com. Think Realty Nation, that's a wrap. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch. My face is here and wait a minute, it's here, right there, and up there. I can't point yet because I think I'm still too short for that. I need a new chair. All right, you know how to get in touch. Until next time, happy investing.